Hi, today I'm going to be talking about two aspects of recovery. One is each day is a mini lifetime. You might have heard just for today. And that's because we live for today as if this could represent a mini lifetime. And the second aspect is that is about being bigger than a part. So we may make a small part into our larger focus, into our primary obsession, even what we spend most of our time and energy on. So I have a couple things to share today. One is, I'll start with this. So this is the idea that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sections on the circle. So you make a cross and then an X, and you fill in into each part an eighth of your spreadsheet of yourself, of how you want to spend your time, your life. And I've done it. And so the first is physical health. The second is God. The third, and God for me represents love, peace, oneness, higher power. The third is a significant other, I would say partnership, somebody to share the day with, somebody to show pictures to, somebody to read with, or whatever it is, make a meal together, somebody. For many people, it could be a pet or a sibling. For many people, it's a romantic partner or a best friend. The next is money or job. This is work, this is security, this is making a name, a legacy, this is taking over the family business, whatever it is. The next is fun and creativity, which you might call play, enjoyment, but also it has an aspect of performance, even if just for yourself. The next is friends and community. This is larger than that one that I mentioned, sort of like being part of a group. The next is my spiritual growth. This is developing my emotional well-being. This is having more focus in my mind. This is identifying as the backbone of myself. I guess that's a applause. The backbone of myself, surrounded by all these tentacles sort of reaching out and kind of identifying with my own energy, being a dwelling place for good energy. And then finally, it's emotional well-being, which has a lot to do with, like earlier I mentioned, physical health. You might say sleep, meditation, eating right, and taking care of the body for the weather and for cleaning it. And emotional well-being could be breath work, could be going, cycling on a bicycle to feel free. It's basically to feel freedom, because our emotions can be heavy, or we might cling to emotions. So it's kind of like the eye. So the eye, like how it sees the world, how it interprets, how it forms meaning, do I matter, and how it feels to be me, do I like my own company? And so then I did what is my dream day? And so I wrote freely. I didn't really think too much about it. And I recommend you try it. This is the practice. Feeling oneness or godliness. Peace and quiet, not overly loud. Waking up early, or I would say close to the sunshine, and meditate, do conscious morning. Practices, find that grounding of inner peace. Letting go of the past, being open to the future. Something that sort of blinks, so I know how things went, find closure. It doesn't have to be that I settle everything into its place and sort of have a clear-cut answer for everything, but let it go and trust it, and then be open to what's to come without sort of projecting these unfinished business onto the future. Prepare some fresh, healthy food for myself with love. After aligning, energizing, balancing physical movement, or flowing or dancing, something like that. Moving, getting in touch with the body, feeling good in my body. Going somewhere new, whether it's seeing beauty or new things. Earning money for something for later. In other words, investing in my future self. And this is what I would like to be doing, what feels good. Even right now, I know I'm investing in future me, and sometimes that helps to feel discomfort on the way, but actually something I still like to do now. Having an open, honest, real talk connection with somebody, deep, true conversation. Expressing my gratitude, my mistakes freely. Creating a plan for the future. Sharing love, sharing intimacy, resting well and comfortably, and also practicing new and old skills where I could be trying something new, like singing, or I'm learning how to sing with my own voice, getting in touch with it, or tie-dyeing, I did that once in camp, and I bought a little materials. I want to do it again. It's a new skill for me. And also practicing like established hobbies. I was once a photographer. I like to take pictures. Something like I've been practicing drumming. I'm an artist, so I practice art. And then also like as part of the process, enjoying the learning, enjoying the challenges to be met. And finally, that's kind of the portion for today, but I want to share about the Lubavitcher Rebbe, the Chabad Rebbe of the movement called Chabad Lubavitch. Lubavitch is a place in Eastern Europe, and Chabad is the name of the movement where it originated, kind of mostly. And so there was, in the community I just moved to a new neighborhood where I actually had grown up in. New neighborhood again for me. It's not new to me, but it's new all over again. And the founder of this community, I'm going to share a little bit of his background, and because it's meaningful for me, and because that's part of what inspires me to do this work. And he shared that we got to spread the word, we got to spread the truth, we got to learn about this redemption time, how it's already here, kind of, and live in it, and kind of bring that connection portal to what we call heaven on earth. So this is his backstory. In 1901, he was born at 4 in Nikolaev. In 1901, he was born, and then at 4 in Nikolaev during these pogroms, like massacres, and people were hiding. He had extraordinary security and compassion. He would comfort the small children. He was only a little child himself. In 1928 to 1932, he studied physics, sciences at University of Berlin, including from Professor Erwin Schrödinger, who's known for discovering the fundamental equation of quantum mechanics, the Schrödinger equation. And now I'm going to fast forward to not much of his life am I going to talk about, but I'm going to go to where he started sharing these concepts. In 1991, he first announced that the Geula, which means the redemption, had arrived. At the time of his speech, it was stated that King Solomon, at the end of one of his speeches, it was stated that King Solomon derived wisdom by transforming the wisdom from ancient Egypt. As the Messiah, or the Redeemer, the Savior, and we each have this spark in us, he said, will in the sciences. In 1991, there was a Persian Gulf War, had miracles, and he said, Israel's safe. No need to prepare for death. It ended 4 days after my birthday, so I have this information. I was born February 24, 1991, and this was announced, and the war ended February 28, 1991. Also, there was Slovenia, Yugoslavia was going to, also in Slovenia, where Yugoslavia was going to attack, they were saved about 3.5 months later after my birthday. This was June 7, also because of something he mentioned right after. In Mishpatim, which is a few weeks before my birthday, he said that Parsha, which was the Parsha is the portion of the Bible at that time, at the end of Shavat, which is the name of a Hebrew month. He said the appointment of David Malka Mashiach, which is King David, Solomon's father, where it said that's the lineage of where the Messiah will come. This is a Jewish tradition. He said it's already taken place. It's just that people have to accept the sovereignty, and the connection between the king and the people has to be revealed. In Nisan, he said, which is another name of a Hebrew month, he said the words of Yalkut Shimoni, which is, he was quoting, he said they've been fulfilled since then, especially from the month of Nisan, the month of Geula, which is, Nisan is the time when the Passover happened, the exodus from Egypt, where there was slavery for hundreds of years. He said, we're already at the time, literally the hour, that this king, the anointed king, who is able to take, the anointed king comes, and we've already seen actual wonders that confirm this is the year when the anointed king is revealed, and even the hour which this anointed king comes and announces to the Jews, humble ones, the time of your redemption has arrived, and behold, this is the anointed king who came, that he already came. And this is all happening right after, a few weeks after my birthday. So I feel a personal connection with him, and that's why I have some of the energy to do this work that I'm doing, my own personal project. In November that year, he said, in our days, all obstacles have been removed. Therefore, we have not only the presence of Mashiach, but which is the Redeemer, the Anointed One, but also the revelation. Now it's necessary only to receive in full actuality the redemption, the saving, the redeeming. In every generation it says that there's a holy, righteous one worthy of becoming that for the people. In 1992 he said, if there's no impediment who can be revealed as... he said in Parshas Shemos, now when he said about the holy, righteous tzaddik, the upright one worthy of being Mashiach, if there's no impediment who can be revealed as Mashiach. So there's always a potential. Anyway, in 1992 he said in Parshas Shemos, which is a portion of the Bible, he said, since we already have the king from the house of David who teaches Torah and is occupied in doing good things, Torah is the truth, and mitzvot are the commandments, the righteousness, acting righteously like David, his ancestor, induces all the Jews and really all the ones who wrestle with their own inner battle to be better and better, to follow the truth, the living truth, and strengthen it where it's been broken, and fight the battles of God, of oneness, of good over evil. Thus he's assumed status of being the Messiah, the anointed. He should immediately become Messiah with certainty. He got a stroke that year, a month after Mishpatim, which was a year and 6 days after I met him. It was on March 2, which is when he said the ruling of many, many, many leaders of communities all over the world, Jewish people, authorities, that has the authority that originates from Mount Sinai, that the redemption has arrived, and a king will arise from the house of David, and he's assumed the status. He has assumed status of being the Messiah, reaching the status of Messiah with a certainty, the anointed one, where it's sure, not just the potential, but the actual, and said that the Messiah, whose name is Menachem, which is comfort, in his generation that we are in, he left his body in 1994, and so this is very important stuff to think about. And so I hope I've inspired you, whether you connect with somebody who had told you what you needed to hear at different times in your life, who you could find some connection with around your birthday or around the community you feel yourself drawn to, that the whole lifetime, each day is a mini lifetime, and recovery is about being bigger than the parts. We don't put all our eggs in one basket. So it's really all about really living our dreams out and making them reality, but also connecting with people who actually did that. So thank you for spending time with me, and I wish you well.